Okay, students, will start the class continuation of the previous one, that is the Incoterms. So be clearly go through all those things, because at the end you are having the equivalent to a test. It is, even though it is called as case study, it is only a test. So few questions will be displayed. You have to mention whether it is EXW, FCA, FAS, FOB, CFR, like that. Okay, that is why I already shared a PDF document with you, which contains the meaning of all these Incoterms. So now we'll see some of the Incoterms payment side, then we'll see some of the documents where these type of Incoterms are used. After that, I think by 4 o'clock, we will directly go for the question session. Okay. So for the question time, be ready with your Word file. You can open the Word file and you can mention 1 to 11, I think. Okay. That's all. In the Word file, mention your roll number first, then side heading, you can mention 1 to 11. So I will give the 11 questions. You have to find out whether it is X works or CIF or DAP or DDP, like that. So be ready for that one. So this time my analytics team will, that is the software, will measure your performance. So I expect everybody should get minimum 10. Okay. So you can see the Incoterms, you have discussed what is the meaning of what, with the help of the very good story about the Melvin and the India. What are the role of exporter and the importer? Same thing you can see. Here is a nice chart which clearly presents what is the role of seller, what is the role of the buyer. The blue color line mentions the role of the seller. Likewise, the yellow color mentions the role of the buyer. That means, simply speaking, in our example, India is the seller. So blue color represents the what are all the costs borne by her. The yellow color represents what are all the costs borne by the Melvin, based upon these Incoterms. Okay. In case of EXW, that is X works, Cynthia will pay up to the seller place. After that, whatever it may be, Melvin has to pay, because remaining all are in yellow color. So the risk, everything will be taken by the Melvin. Cynthia will do, she will produce the product and put up in her warehouse in Sydney. That's all. If the quotation, it is mentioned that X works. Usually if the buyer is small person, they used to mention like that, X works. So X works means the price will be up to the warehouse of the seller. After that, to bring back the goods, the buyer has to take the responsibility. So it is the Melvin role to take the responsibility. The point is here, the risk taking point is in the X work factory of this India itself. Then the free carrier. Free carrier means India will send the goods up to the Sydney harbor. That's all. Then it is duty of the Melvin to take up to harbor, Sydney harbor. India will send. After the harbor, Melvin has to take inside the alongside ship. Then FAS means, you can see, free alongside ship. India will take over the freight forwarder duty before boarding or loading into the original ship. That is, she will complete the formalities of export in Sydney Harbour. That's all. For the vessels, that is shipment, Melvin has to pay for all the other things. The Scindia works comes to the exactly to the harbor, then to the freight forwarding agents. Once it is handed over to the freight forwarding agents inside the harbor, Scindia will take rest. Then free on board. Here the seller will send the goods up to the harbor and the destination of the buyer. That is, in our example, India will send up to Canada. But the unloading, taking the goods, paying the import duty, all these things will be taken over by the Melvin. That is the free on board. Then you can see the cost and freight. Cost and freight means India will take the risk of sending the goods by the ship, and the ship will reach the Canada and till the bonded warehouse. India will pay. From the bonded warehouse, it is the duty of the Melvin to take care. So usually India will take risk up to the harbor in Canada. After that, India won't take the risk, even though the goods will be unloaded in the bonded warehouse. Same thing, cost and freight. Cost, insurance, freight means India will pay for the insurance also. Marine insurance, that is very big amount. So India will pay the marine insurance amount. Then cost paid to. CPT means they will mention clearly to which place we will pay. That's what I told you. Melvin may be in Canada, but India will send goods up to US, Chicago. From there, Melvin has to take over the control. So what India will do, I will send through a flight. That's a direct flight from Sydney to Chicago. So I will pay CPT Chicago. After that, our Melvin has to go to US, of course. Between Canada and US, that's an agreement. He will go there and bring back the goods. Same thing, carrier and insurance paid to which place it is mentioned. Delivery terminal. Delivery terminal means it is in Chicago. Up to that, India will pay, but unloading will be done by the Melvin. Delivery at place also, then delivery duty place. Even up to the doorsteps of the Melvin, India will pay. That means DDP. So you must know. After that, but unloading is done by the Melvin in the buyer's warehouse. India won't pay for that one. India will send the goods up to the warehouse. So it is the Melvin to unload and keep it in his warehouse. That is the DDP, delivery duty place. So these are all the core Incoterms, commercial terms. So when you are fixing the price in international marketing, you have to quote these things, whether EXW, FCA, FOB, CFR, DAP, DDP, whatever it may be. You have to fix that one. That is very essential, okay? So here is also another sample example. It can be used in multimodal transport, maybe in ship or by airways or by roadways or by railways. That is the common one. Whatever it may be, in case of multimodal transport, we are using all this stream. In case of CN, what only we will use FAS, FOB, CFR, and CAF. Yes. Here is another mentioning. EXW, that is X factory, first carrier alongside ship. FOB, FAS, FCA will come here. Then on the shipment board, it is CFR, CIF, CPT, and CIP. You can see last one, group D, that is the arrival place of the Melvin. First one, X works means it is the place of the Scindia. Group E is the place of Scindia. Group D is the place of Melvin. Group F and C, of course, actually it is the role of Vijay Krishna, because freight forwarder will take the role of F and C. Okay. Yes, next. X works. You can see that one. It is the seller's obligation. Up to the seller's place only the amount will be paid. So it is mentioned that blue color and red color. Dark is the seller's obligation. So seller will stop here. This is how they used to graphically mention about the X works. Free carrier, you can see the next level. Free on board up to the shipment. You can see this one. This is a graphical representation of FCA, FOB. Then delivery duty paid up to the buyer's place. DDP we have already discussed. So both seller and buyer, the seller will pay up to the buyer's place. Okay. So here is the responsibilities of the parties. Same thing, what we have discussed in the Incoterms. You can see that one, the heading, any mode, and FAS, FOB, CFR, CF refers only to the sea transport, that is marine transport. Remaining thing is common. You can see the risk transfer we have already seen, loading and inland transport. Most probably, if it is X works, all these things are taken over by the buyer. Same thing, the main carriage, you can see that one. This is how this chart will tell you about clearly what is the responsibilities of the parties. Usually the sea transport, FAS, FOB, CFR, and CF will be taken over by the freight forwarding agents. In our example, Vijay Krishna will take over the sea transport. That is why they appoint the freight forwarding agents. So you can take a snapshot or print screen so that when we are going for the questions, it will be very easy to answer. Okay. I have taken the snapshot. What, Mark? Mark, are you there? Why? What happened? Sanat? Sanat is also not there.
Sir.
Whether you have taken a screenshot of this one?
Yes, sir.
Good. Because at the end, the questions will be there. Based upon this one only, I will give. Okay. Here is a sample of the export documentation. See that one? This is the pro forma invoice. We have discussed in the previous class when the pro forma invoice will be prepared. And the consignee, usually some cases they will mention the consignor and consignee. Consignee is the buyer. Here, the goods are sending from the US, that is Santiago, Sri Industrial, fans and multi-stage blowers. flowers from US and it is going to be sent to Paris, France. They are sending the industrial fans. You can see that one, the price, how they quoted. The original cost is only 50,000 US dollar. Since it is coming under CIF, cost insurance freight. You can see sea freight charges are $2,850. Then insurance comes around 150. So they mentioned as 53,000 US dollars. So in the pro forma, it shows that they are going to send with an Incoterm of 2010 using the concept called CAF up to the Le Havre seaport in France. That is the famous port for that one. So up to this harbor, the seller will pay. If the India is the seller, India will pay up to the Le Havre seaport in France. She will pay all these things. That is means, of course, she is getting from Melvin, but the price quoted includes all these things. What is the total cost? What is the sea freight up to France? Then what is the insurance? All these things will be mentioned. And here it is mentioned as CIF. And this is the sample export document, which is mentioning about the CIF. Yes, here is the big document, which contains a very big quotation. And our India is in Sydney. And the buyer, a new buyer, is in South Africa. Let us assume the Mark is in South Africa. He is a big businessman. He is in US, but he is having a business in South Africa. So Mark is buying from India. You can see this first quotation. India is mentioning everything. That is, this is a quotation. Out of that, Mark has to decide which Incoterms he is going to accept. Simple thing. You must know the price in Australian dollar. India is going to send only 500 cartons of raw almonds, 1,000 kg in break bulk on pallets. That is, he is using the palletization for sending the raw almonds from Australia. And our Mark is going to buy from South Africa, Cape Town. So what is the price she quoted? She is asking to Mark which Incoterms you are going to accept. First concept, she mentions that EXW, X works at 20 Strait Street, Sydney, Australia. That means it is the place of India. India is now in Strait Street, Sydney in Australia. And she is mentioning X works. If it is X works, India is mentioning that the price of the product comes around 2,000 AUD, that is Australian dollar. That means from that place, 20 Strait Street, Sydney in Australia, Mark has to collect. That's all. That is the price what she quoted. Another time, she mentioned FCA. FCA means she is mentioning 4,000 Australian dollar. Then at the same time, India is ready to load in 20 feet container. Free alongside means 5,000 Australian dollar. You must know what is the price if you are using these type of Incoterms. That is why we are discussing. That is, if Mark is ready to buy from the India's price, it is just 2,000 Australian dollar. But you can see if Mark is going to get from the FCA, it is 4,000 Australian dollar. Or free alongside, it is 5,000 US dollar. Then she mentioned, okay, I will send the goods up to container terminal in Sydney Port and I will board that one. In such case, you have to pay 6,000 Australian dollar. The price will increase because India is taking more risk. Out of that, the Mark has to take anyone. Then only the final price will be fixed. If it is CPT container terminal in Cape Town in South Africa, that means India is taking the risk of sending goods up to South Africa, Cape Town. India will charge 5,000 Australian dollar. See that one, the price is increasing. Actual price is very less. You can see just 2,000 rupees of raw almond. But you can see how the prices are increasing based upon the Incoterms. FOB means it comes 6,000. Then CPT container terminal in Cape Town in South Africa means 7,000 Australian dollar. Then if you want to have offload, if she wishes to pay the customs duty for the South African country, she will charge up to 8,000 Australian dollar. Then Cynthia is saying, don't worry, I will pay everything. It will come to the outskirts of the harbor in Cape Town port, DAP. That is all the charges will be paid. Only thing, you can go to DAP, the container terminal in Cape Town, and take back the goods. In such case, you have to pay 9,000 Australian dollar. See that one, how these prices are fixed. So it is based upon this Incoterms only. The prices in international markets will vary based upon this Incoterms. That is why it is very important thing. You can see if it is offloaded from the ship, you can pay 10,000 Australian dollar. If Cynthia is ready to send to the Mark place, that is, Mark is located in the Health Supplies Limited, 10 Life Road, Cape Town in South Africa. Without unloading, the goods will go to the Cape Town, South Africa. That is Mark actual place of business. Mark is running Health Supplies Limited in South Africa. So if it goes to this address, that is 10 Life Road, Cape Town, Cynthia will charge 11,000. But Mark is saying, okay, if Cynthia decided to send to the same address by offloading everything, then Cynthia will quote as 12,000 Australian dollar. So you can see how the prices are increasing. Actual price is only 2,000 Australian dollar. But if Cynthia wishes to send to the doorsteps of Mark in South Africa, then it becomes 12,000 Australian dollar. How many times? Even then, Mark will buy and he will sell this consignment for 18,000 Australian dollar in South Africa. That is quite possible. That is why Mark is demanding raw almond from the Australia. See that one. So how far these Incoterms are playing the role in case of fixing the price. That is how the price variations are more in case of global market. That's what we discussed when you are sending the goods from Africa to Cape Town. Okay? Same thing. In each and every stages, you are having the documentation. So usually the export documentation you will also study, and I think some of you might have studied in international business. But there is no standard format, but there is a common format that you must understand in case of export documents. Usually the Incoterms will be based upon these things: quotation, commercial invoice, export packing list, verification. Okay. This is the sample quotation. We have already discussed about the sample quotation, how it looks like. Here is an example. The goods are sending to the Hyderabad from the RPG chemical technology. See that one. This is the pro forma invoice in which the consignee is located in Thailand. Here you can see even they may charge some cases fee for letter of credits, GST, but of course here it is mentioned 0 because it is located in the free trade zone. Okay. Pro forma invoice, you can see the same Thailand. Here they included the inland freight, ocean freight, handling charges, export packing, GST, HST, and VAT also. To send the goods to Thailand from US. They mentioned CIF. Incoterms as CIF. Okay, that is carriage, insurance, and freight. Then the commercial invoice, we have seen that one. Commercial invoice also, it should contain the same thing. It is the legal document. So here they used to mention the description till which place the charges will be made. Next 30 days arrival as port in US dollar. The amount should be mentioned in terms of wire transfer, that is online transfer. Here is the sample of export packing list, because this is a legal document which will be handed over to the freight forwarder. And see that one, the net weights are mentioned in both pounds as well as in kg, because that is the usual term we are using in international level. Both things, so that we can understand that one. This is the less than container load or full container load. We used to call it as VGM form, that is weight verification form, but it is mentioned VGM. Of course, it is what is the weight. The LCL means they will put in some other container. For if Cynthia is sending, Cynthia's gold jewelry may be going with some other gold jewelry also. But separate packing with the container may be same. Full container load means Cynthia will take a full container and pack well. It depends upon the Melvin. Melvin may say, okay, you can send in a full container because I'm going to buy huge products. Okay, then shipper's instruction letter. Because once the goods is handed over to the ships, the ship captain has to handle that one. It should maintain clearly weight, what is the temperature, and what is the thing he has to consider while handling the cargo. If there is any special instruction, it should be mentioned. It depends upon the same thing, once again, CIF pricing or free alongside pricing. This will be decided by the freight forwarder. Okay? Then, of course, this is the certificate of origin with the product, which country it belongs to. Here, they are sending from USA with cuisine to Chennai in India. So what are all it contains? It should mention the product is from the United States of America, and for quantities they are sending. Even they may send from US, which is purchased in London means it should mention the country of origin is London. Okay. So these are the very important documents which we are using in international trade. Of course, the pricing strategies are purely based upon all these things. Now coming to the core thing. Now you can open your Word file and put the number 1 to 11. First write your roll number, then put 1 to 11. Out of that, you have to mention clearly whether it is the X words or DAP, DAT, CIF, all these things. You can refer the document, what I already shared you, or you have already taken the snapshot of that one. Okay? Have opened the Word file. Jonah, you are there? Open the Word
Yes,
file.
sir.
Good.
Sir,
Ready
can
for
we scan and upload?
Yes, that you can do. Yes, now we'll move on to the questions. You can read the question and you have to mention in case of one, whether it is X words to DAT, which one it comes. You have to find out clearly and mention.